Yes, can. Yes, can. Yes, can. Yes, can. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey,
I like that.
welcome back to Ask the Conch. It's been a little while.
Welcome back.
Vacation. Christmas vacation, we'll call it.
Oh, yeah. Holidays take a
Holiday
minute.
vacation, yeah. Lots of stuff going on. It was also weird being in the middle of the week, too, right?
Yeah, because they lost in the time-space continuum for 2 whole weeks because it was the middle of the week for both holidays. And I don't know what day it's been this century.
I didn't really... Oh, well, we went to my sister-in-law's, actually, and had, like, a little get-together on New Year's Eve, but it was, like we left at, like, 7 or something like that, and I was laying on the couch at midnight. I was awake. I made it to midnight, so, I mean, got that going for me, but I can't remember what we were doing. We were watching something on TV, I think, but I don't know.
Stiff of the nap vibes for holidays.
The whole time I was off, I was falling asleep at, like, 11 o'clock, and I'd fall asleep on the couch, and one time Brett woke me up to, like, hey, are you going to go to the bed? And I just yelled at him and said, are you going to carry me? And then went to bed.
You carry my ass up there?
Last night I laid on the couch for like an hour before I probably made it to the bed, and I was like falling in and out. He's like, are you falling asleep? And I was like, sorta. I'm trying to fall asleep. Just a little.
I took 3 naps after that 14-hour sleep. Yeah, I guess I need to play some catch up or something.
Also I feel like it's been cold, or at least I'm not used to this much cold because it's been such a mild winter already.
Yeah,
so
we didn't get no snow yet. It's just blasting us with freezing.
Yeah, I know, and then there's nothing against the house to protect it. No.
There.
And also it's freezing cold down here, so good thing we won't have to be down here for much longer, hopefully. That's the goal. But
we get a little prep from the cold outside, though.
Yeah, it'll get us used to it. Nice. It's like 66 down here, I think. That's what it was. So it's not bad.
Yeah, ain't bad.
Yeah. It was like 59. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. Am I the asshole for moving all my daughter's belongings to my parents' house and leaving nothing for my husband's affair kid?
Nothing for the affair baby to do, or nothing for her to inherit? Oh man, find some details on this.
So, am I the asshole for this? My husband told me Saturday that he has had an affair and had a kid from it. Our kids are 14 male and 10 female, and this child is 9 female.
Oh.
Something happened to her mother in the last couple weeks. I was a little too busy screaming at him to listen to the details, and he was leaving to go and get her. My daughter came to me crying, saying that he told her that she had to share her room and her stuff with this girl for now. I called my parents, and they agreed to her staying in her guest room, which is a 2-bedroom condo, so my son and I are staying at the house. We packed our stuff, and on Monday, my parents, sister, brother-in-law, and nephews helped us move all of her stuff to my parents' place. They also helped put locks on my bedroom and son's bedroom. We moved all my husband's stuff from my bedroom to the 4th bedroom that he used as a home office. Yesterday evening, my husband got home with his affair kid. He got mad about all the stuff being gone and nothing being left for her. She's from a much warmer area and doesn't have clothes for the cold here. We live in the northern part of the U.S. This morning, he caught me in the kitchen to complain to me about it again and said I was being cruel by not making my daughter share with her. Am I the asshole? Why does your child have to share
anything?
So, okay. So something happened to the mom. What about, where's all this, where's all her shit that she has? Doesn't she have her own room and stuff? Like,
yeah,
if
you had the whole family move this 9-year-old. 9 years.
I know, that's crazy.
Woof.
So
all those poor teenage kids.
But 9 years, so they should have all of their own stuff if they have to be moved into the house with you.
Go be a big boy and buy a fucking coat for your affair baby. That's 9 years old now.
Yeah, they're gonna need a coat. Why do you have to? Yeah, that seems
Wow.
No, not the asshole. How could
Yeah,
you be-
not the asshole.
how
Go you for not like burning the fucking house down or
Yeah.
like gonzos and.
So, and on top of that, is he just figuring out? This sounds like Big Daddy.
I can wipe my own ass.
That's what it's giving. Like that's what it's reminding me.
Really?
I mean,
Hey, here's a problem. Here's this 9-year-old kid. Good luck. Well,
I mean, honestly, it's nothing like that movie, but to an extent, there's nobody like stealing kids technically. You know, whatever. But
oh, yeah, not the asshole, and go you for even attempting to deal with that shit show.
Yeah. Why would you wait 9 years? Like, did he just find out, or have you known? And if you've known about this child that you had 9 years ago, why would you wait 9 years to say something about it? Because at some point, it's going to come out. You think it's not going to come out that you have another kid?
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean?
Something happened to mom, and here you go.
Yeah, because things like that can happen, and then next thing you know, you got a whole kid. Oh, I did save this one.
Did you see one?
I mean, sorta. It's just one that I actually commented on this one. I don't comment on a lot of them, but I commented on this one when I first found it, and it was like fresh when I found it. A lot of stuff I find is fresh when I find it, I guess. But this is am I overreacting? Am I overreacting for being upset that my mother-in-law is coming into town to stay at our house the night before my mother's funeral? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. I will try to condense this. My mother-in-law lives across the country. She will decide when she is coming and never asks if it's a good time. My husband sees nothing wrong with this. It has been this way for years. She is easygoing, not demanding, and doesn't expect any big welcoming. I say this because we really do get along, but I have just spent the last month caring for my dying mother. I have to go back to work next Monday. I didn't even stay at my own house for a couple weeks as I stayed with her. Our house is small, and our kids, we already are somewhat, our house is small with our kids, and we already are somewhat on top of each other, but we make it work. One full bath and one half bath. She sleeps on the couch, but there is not even enough seating in our living room to accommodate a guest if our whole family is even in there. Also, my husband has a previous engagement that will have him gone Saturday through Sunday. I have been treading water, trying to get to the finish line with visitation and funeral. I was thinking we could get through that and I would finally be able to breathe, catch up on stuff that has been on the back burner, and relax. My husband doesn't understand why I feel inconvenienced by his mom's visit. Last night I had a breakdown and explained that I am a ball of knots, thinking that I can't even decompress after the service because we have a house guest. He said, well, I am not telling my mom she can't stay here after flying halfway across the country. Am I overreacting by being upset?
No, my gosh. Just you're going to entertain.
Yeah,
And dropped on you the night before your mother's funeral.
That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. There's no. What do you mean? What do you mean we're going to have a house guest? What do you mean? That's not how any of this works. Like, I can't have that.
How dare you to even be remotely a smidgen upset about not wanting to? Oh, my mom. No, my mom's dead. What the? Like, oh my God, my heart for her. Yeah, like a never-ending knot. Like there wasn't enough shit on her plate.
Yeah, right. What your cup can only get so full, and then it starts, boiling over. So,
oh man,
like, what do you think is going to happen to your wife? Why are you being so unsupportive in this situation? Like, I understand if they're not going, like, they're not doing the whole visitation and setting all that stuff up together, but it's like, where are you for your spouse when they just lost their parent?
Yeah.
And clearly are having a hard time. Like, it really seems like it seems like nobody's asked.
Super lack of sympathy for her.
Yeah, like,
Should be fine. Let's just, I'm going out of town, entertain my mother.
Why are you freaking out that my mom has to stay here because your mom just died? Like, what do you mean? What? That sounds crazy.
Hey, see me overreact.
So
wow,
there's an update.
So
I haven't seen the update. So this has been edited to update. Mother-in-law did come around midnight the night before the funeral. I went ahead and packed stuff to go to Dad's 30 minutes away to get ready that morning. I just got up early and said I would go and have breakfast with Dad and ride with him. The rest of my family with mother-in-law met us there. I had already spoken to my husband and we read this post. I said that I realized that he is afraid to tell her because she gives a silent treatment for weeks, and if she feels like she has been slighted in any way, this is where the issue lies. She tells him what she is doing, and she expects that he will just go along with her wishes no matter what. This has always alienated me, so if he could just treat us as a unit, then we could together have her visit and be our guest. But when she says she is just coming and expects him to be at her beck and call while she is here, it feels weird to me. There have been multiple instances over the years. She came the day we got home from the hospital with our youngest saying she wanted to help, but we couldn't actually expect the help because she would come and go for the day or evening visiting other friends or family with no heads up or warning, and then feel slighted if we had dinner and didn't leave enough and they happened to turn up back home at dinner. It was chaotic and not helpful, which is probably why I'm extra sensitive. Anyway, she got up today with plans to visit other family, and he talked to her today, and in the morning she will be going to her sister's an hour away to stay for the rest of her trip. So
wow. She's got a track record of that, and just
that was a really long sentence. That was what that problem was for me. It also kind of seems like maybe he did say something. Do you think he said something to Mom? If he's going to, or she's leaving for the rest of the trip? Like, do you think she just did that on her own?
Probably, like, I'm not being entertained. I'm going to have to find entertainment.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the son's leaving he was going to be out of town or whatever. He had other prior arrangements.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
So it's like, oh my God, what a selfish
Mom, Dad or not, I would be pissed if you were like, yeah, my mom's going to come stay with you.
Or even at that was, my parent, like, really? You're not going to just drop on my shit and then be sour about how, there wasn't enough dinner when I came back at dinner time. But she just showed up.
Yeah, right.
I love my mama, but.
Did you tell me you were coming? Like,
our anxiety wouldn't work that way. Like, here's a little bit of a plan, at least.
I mean,
a slight heads up.
See, when I had a roommate, I mean, we were like, we texted that stuff like, hey, I'm not going to be home for dinner. Like, okay, cool. I guess I don't know if all roommates eat dinner together, but we ate dinner together. I don't know. Maybe that's not normal. I guess I never thought about that because people do have roommates that they like just try to not talk to. And I mean, I was friends with my roommate, so.
Right. And the community meal too.
Yeah, we had a really good relationship while we lived together. Actually, it was great. There's only a few rules, and just help me take care of the dogs a little bit because I have the dogs. So, but yeah,
help out and get a guilt.
Yeah, basically, don't make a mess.
Well, fuck you. Your mother-in-law's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Your husband's being kind of shitty too. So.
Right. Stand up to your mom.
I would say you already stood up to the husband. And and it shouldn't be your job to say anything to mother-in-law. Because it's not your mother-in-law. Or it's not your mother.
Wow. Boundaries. Whoa.
So, the next story I have is also a mother-in-law story, actually. I don't know. Just some stuff happening, I guess.
For the moment.
So, am I the asshole for not letting my mother-in-law see my baby until I put cameras up in my home? So, this one's a little spicy. This one can be a little spicy.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I, 25 female, had a baby boy with my 27 male husband 4 months ago. His mom, my mother-in-law, and some old school backwards thinking that I do not agree with. She spanked her kids, let them cry it out when they were babies, etc. She tries to impose those thoughts on me, and I tell her I do not like that way of thinking, and I will not be doing that with my child or future children. One thing she did was put cereal in her kids' bottles. She said to me about 3 weeks ago, said it to me about 3 weeks ago, and I told her no, because that will increase the chance of gagging or inhaling that liquid into his lungs. And I told her I will not be doing it. My husband said he will not be doing it, and I told her she will not be doing it. I caught her on Saturday feeding him his bottle with Fruit Loops mixed in when I
What
came
the
downstairs
fuck?
from taking a nap. I completely lost it and told her to get out of my house. She told me I can't do that because this is her son's house too, and I told her I would just call the police if she's refusing to leave. She left but stayed in her car across the street until my husband came home from work.
Weird.
She tried crying and acting like I was the bad person. He told her that he asked her to stop when he caught her last week. I got pissed because he didn't tell me that, and I was furious with both of them at that point.
Oh, snap. What the fuck?
Also, Fruit Loops?
Fruit Loops. What the fuck? There's actual baby cereal.
That's what I thought at first.
At first, too. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking baby rice cereal. No, straight up Fruit Loops in his baby's bottle. What the? Oh, my brain. What a fucking nut job. You sat across the street like a fucking weirdo.
So,
Oh
yeah.
my
Hey.
God.
I told her she would never be allowed to watch him or any children I have in the future again, and she has completely lost my trust. She's not allowed in her home again. My husband has tried to smooth things over, and I'm not having it. I told him the only way she'd be allowed back in her home was if I put up cameras, and she cannot go out of my sight with this again. She blew up at me at the group chat that we have with her, myself, my mother, my father, my husband's two sisters, and my sister. She called me controlling, a helicopter parent, a bad parent, etc. My family was not happy about the way she talked to me and told her she needs to back off.
Chat.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
And his side of the family was more on her side, so I said I was overreacting a bit. The baby is okay. One of his sisters did say she crossed the line and she's done with her kid when she popped her daughter in the mouth, and that's why she's not allowed to be with her daughter by herself. I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think you're wrong either.
Wow.
Just throw that in at the end. Sprinkle that in.
Oh, yeah, just a little sprinkle at the
Pop
end.
somebody in the face.
By the way, yeah, she doesn't get to see her other grandkid because she already fucked that up. Oh, my, wow. This woman needs a therapist.
So when I was
maybe some jail time. What the fuck?
So put cereal in the bottles. When I was thinking put cereal in the bottles, not that it's still not okay, but rice cereal was what I think, like the actual, what you said, actual baby cereal.
Yeah, that was like old school thing, thicken up the milk and as they're getting a little older.
Don't get me wrong, I love some Fruit Loops cereal milk, but that doesn't mean you give it to a baby.
Here, just have some straight sugar milk. It's purple. It's like that gray purple color. All melted. Ew.
And the worst part is like watch it be hard to feed that baby because they had one too many cereal bottles and they're like, this tastes like shit now.
Yeah, right now.
This tastes like shit. Now
I need that sugar. Give me that good sugared milk. What the? Rot that kid's teeth out before they even come in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Woman's
a fucking psycho.
The sprinkle at the end of
by the way,
popped her daughter in the mouth. How?
Right.
Yikes. And okay, I'm not a parent, but when I think about like other people's parenting, I think that it's their kids and if a parent tells you that you're going to do this when you watch their kids, then that's what you do when you watch their kids. Like you don't
undermining
like you don't just feed somebody's kid whatever the hell you want. You ask and make sure that they're allowed to have
especially
it.
And they said no and you go and do it anyway.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, And then honestly, okay, so there's going to be cameras up in the house. I don't think you should be throwing a fit at all because at least you're allowed to see that kid.
Right.
Who cares if you're on a camera? You're going to throw a fit about it? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
We're lucky you even get to come back into the house.
Yeah, right.
At all. Instead of sitting across the street like a fucking weirdo in your car. I was kind of bent on that. Fucking weirdo. Something my real dad would do. Fucking psycho.
Man. Definitely not the asshole. God.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything,
or overreacting, whichever one.
I'm pretty, it was am I the asshole? But so.
Wow.
And I mean, not only are you not overreacting, but I just.
Like, these folks are dealing with a lot of bullshit. A lot more bullshit than I would ever deal with. Bye, mama-in-law, bye.
So this one is, will I be the asshole if I waste my husband's time in counseling? I mean, it sounds like a waste of money. So
right,
that's my first thought.
Right, waste of money if it's not.
I wouldn't want to spend the money on it. Okay, let's see. My 26 female husband, 27 male, recently cheated on me with a coworker. I caught him in a lie when he was working late one night. He insistently seemed remorseful. He said all the right things. He spilled his guts to me, and he even offered to do therapy. All things I have asked him to consider for the last 2 years, as this particular person has been an issue in our marriage for the entire time. I asked him to stop communication with her, and he continued to message her in secret through Messenger. So we had our heart-to-heart, agreed to go to couples counseling. He agreed to stop communicating with her and agreed to get help for his addiction, as he calls it, to her.
Addiction.
He overall promised he would be more present. Here's the kicker. The moment I found out he had sex with her, I checked out. The emotional cheating was one thing, and I forgave it far too many times. He made me look dumb to my friends over and over again, so this time I decided it was my turn. I'm going to let him pay for our sessions. Okay. I'm going to go to therapy with him and put on my best acting face, and I'm going to give it my all one last time.
Go team. Oh, I love her.
And once he thinks I'm with him he's a great dad, I won't keep him from our son. But other than that, I'll be moving out to an apartment while he's at work one day. I've been saving money in a separate account for months to pay for a down payment security deposit because I felt like I'd end up here and I was tired of looking dumb. So will I be the asshole if I give him a taste of his own medicine?
No, this is a great lead up, great plan, milady. Great. I'm here for all of it.
If you have to pay for it, then that's a little different. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're bad people.
No. Waste his time.
It's petty, but I mean, you already had so much time wasted.
Yeah, dealing with that bullshit. Repetitive. Yeah. 2 years going on of trying to smooth that over.
Yep. Yeah, that's talking about going to that's pretty bad. If you're like,
that's
hey, let's get some help.
Time of
we really need to get some help, and it's like a dire situation, and instead you're fucking someone else. Yeah,
I'm just saying all the keywords you want to hear.
Also, I want to know about this addiction, as he calls it, to her.
I'm addicted to her. Whatever.
First comment says, nope, he made his bed and now he can lay in it. Protect your peace. He laid in her bed as well. Then you woke up. Oh my God. You know, and okay, so I just don't understand. Like, I feel like the first time, I don't know how you continue to stay if there's multiple times, you know what I mean? Like, if you choose to go through it and like, okay, we're going to stay together after the one time, I feel like if it happens again, there's no, how do you come back from that?
How many chances until enough's enough? Wow.
Yeah. Like,
no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So no, not the asshole for wasting your husband's time in counseling.
Yeah. Sounded like a little bit of come on. Oh, come on.
Okay. Well, Okay. So this one is, am I the asshole for sending my sister flowers anonymously and making her husband upset? I don't remember this one.
Oh,
That's good. So hopefully it's good. I mean, I read it and saved it, so
yeah,
it must be good.
had to been. He saved
Had to
it.
have not sucked. So I, male 37, have always been close to my sister, female 35. We talk regularly, and during one such conversation, she told me she's been feeling really depressed and overwhelmed lately. As we were talking, I could tell she was holding back tears, so I decided to do something nice for her. I contacted the local florist and put in an order for some flowers. I had them delivered to my sister's place of employment with a note reading, "Thinking of you." A few hours later, the florist called me up and told me a man has been calling them nonstop and demanding they tell him who sent his wife flowers. They tried to explain that it was against their policy to reveal that information, but the man who wouldn't take no for an answer. Apparently, he became so aggressive and threatening over the phone, the shop called me up and asked my permission to reveal the name of the sender to the man.
Oh my.
The man being my brother-in-law. It turns out my sister had called her husband and thanked him for the flowers. He told her he hadn't sent any flowers and accused her of having an affair.
Yeah.
He believed her affair partner had sent them to her, which is why he called the florist like a lunatic, demanding names.
Like a lunatic.
I mean, really, though, like, that's crazy. Now my sister is more depressed than ever, and she's fighting with my brother-in-law ever since. My friends think I should have included my name on the card. Had I done that, they say this blow-up would have never happened. I say my brother-in-law is to blame, as he's the one who can't control his temper. So, Reddit, am I the asshole?
Like, no. Sure, putting your name on would have helped.
Oh,
but
so it does say, I totally forgot to explain, I gave the florist permission to tell my brother-in-law it was me. So he knows, my sister knows, everyone knows at this point. Sorry for the confusion.
But damn, what a guy to just instantly jump to, you're having an affair.
And you just because you didn't write it down, like you didn't put your name. And I mean, I would have ended up signing my name. I would have remembered to do that, but I don't know, maybe it was a quick thing. Maybe it was like, oh, I'm gonna get my sister flowers and just
Thinking of you.
well, and if you ordered online, I mean, I guess you would just put in like the thing that you wanted to put your name on it, but I wonder how many times the florist has dealt with that.
Who sent my wife flowers, motherfucker? Her sister.
So,
oh, whoa, buddy.
There's an update.
Oh, boy.
So, now the update. You guys were right. It turns out her marriage has been on the decline for a long while now, and her depression is largely the result of that. My sister is now getting divorced. I feel like they were definitely headed in that direction, but my actions probably sped things up. My brother-in-law has moved out and with another woman.
Oh.
So I tend to agree with those commentators who speculated some degree of projection on his part when he accused my sister of having an affair.
Guilty conscience when he jumped the gun so fast.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't even clock that. That's bad. Okay, wait, there's a little more. In talking with my sister, she explains that he was always verbally abusive with an explosive temper. He's thrown things and punched through walls, but he's never physically harmed her. She says, although who knows how things might have progressed had she stayed. All in all, my sister's disappointed at the failure of her marriage, but seems cautiously optimistic. I'll be sure to support her going forward and want to thank you all again for your concern. That was a wild ride.
Yeah. Plot twist at the end there.
I would be so embarrassed if Brett called, if didn't send me flowers and like my brother sent me flowers and he called and was just screaming.
Right. Like, oh my
Who calls a florist and just starts screaming at him?
And the guy who was clearly had someone on standby to go move into very shortly after. Wow.
Yikes.
Oof.
That's pretty bad.
That's why she was so depressed.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
It is kind of he did say they were very close, and she never expressed that their relationship was in turmoil. And I feel like That would have been, maybe she was in denial.
Right. As the out of the box person seeing in that he was slightly abusive emotionally. Shitty.
Yeah, especially with, I mean, the screaming at the floor.
Yeah.
Calling
Wasn't
nonstop.
violent to her, but putting holes in the walls.
You know, now that I think about it, I actually, when I was working at the store, somebody that worked there had a very, how do you put it lightly, psychotic boyfriend who, I won't say names, but if you say the name around this area, most people go, oh, the woman beater.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. That one.
But he was calling the store one day all crazy like that, like over and over and over again. And I'm not even really sure why, but it was really bad because we were very busy and it was like, you know, everybody's answering the phone. And if it wasn't her, then he would just hang up and then call again. And it was like,
it's a convenience store that's very busy.
Awful. There was another time that some lady that was working there, her boyfriend came in and they started having some big fight in the store and they were like screaming at each other. My boss said that it was like the trailer park showed up.
Right.
And I missed all that. And I was like, dang. I'm always there for all the action. And I missed that one. I was there for a lot of other stuff, but missed that one, I guess.
Right.
God. Okay. So, next one is also an Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter's grandparents take her this Christmas? Oh. This one's long, but...
Yeah, we need some context.
Yeah. I, 30 female, am the single mother of Clara, 2 female. My pregnancy wasn't planned. I had a no-strings-attached relationship with her father, Jack, 30s male, for 7 months when I became pregnant unexpectedly. He lived in another state, but would visit my city monthly for business reasons, and we hit it off after meeting in a bar. We thought about our options regarding the pregnancy, but I decided to keep the baby. Jack wanted to be a part of her life, so we planned to raise the baby together, but not as a couple, just co-parents. Unfortunately, Jack passed away during my pregnancy.
Yeah.
Jack's parents, Linda and James, knew that I was pregnant when he passed. We had already done a prenatal paternity test at the time. We were all devastated by his passing, but of course his parents were destroyed by it. Clara is their first and only grandkid, and she became the beacon of their light in a dark time, as they say. They have two other daughters, Ruth, 37 female, and Lily, 27 female, but they don't have any children. Ruth is trying to conceive for a long time with her husband, and Lily is child-free and single. Jack's whole family lives in another state, with the exception of Lily that lives abroad. They have a family business, so their life is there, while I have a family and career in my current city, where I live with Clara. Since Clara was born, we have an agreement, nothing legal, but we all agreed with visitations for her grandparents and aunts. They usually visit Clara twice a month. James and Linda are the ones that visit the most, but Ruth shows up sometimes. I really appreciate the presence in her life. Since the beginning, a point of contention in our relationship was traveling with Clara to their state. They have a big property that's been in their family for over 100 years, and I have a family business too. In their small town, they are treated as almost royalty and wanted Clara to experience that. I understand that it's good for my daughter to know her heritage, but I always put my foot down on the idea of their traveling with her without me. I already visited their hometown 3 times with Clara since she was born, but this wasn't enough, apparently. Our relationship wasn't perfect. I had some issues with Linda meddling way too much in my parenting, but we were civil until I started my current relationship. I've been dating Ted, 34 male, for almost a year, and things are tense with James and Linda. Ted and I don't live together. He has a daughter, Marie, 4 female, that lives with him. Linda has expressed disapproval to his constant presence in my house, which is not true. Both of us work a lot, and between our kids and other priorities, we see each other 3 to 4 times a week. To Marie having playdates and sleepovers with Clara, and the list goes on. The woman will find a way to comment something, even about Ted's car parked in front of my house. Things escalated when 2 weeks ago, I emailed Linda, James, and Ruth an invite for Christmas Eve. Ted and I will have a get-together with our families and close friends. I decided to invite Claire's grandparents so they can spend Christmas Eve with her. And I also let them know that if they'd prefer, they can take her for lunch on Christmas Day. The next day, Linda texted me that they already had plans to take Clara to their home on Christmas. I said that was not happening. I didn't hear anything from her for about 2 days. Linda called me stating that she gave me 2 days to cool off and be reasonable. I asked her what she meant, and she said they have rights over Clara and that they waited too much to take her home for Christmas. Now she is bigger and she can travel without me. I said that this was never discussed, and I will not let them travel with my daughter without discussing it with me before. Linda said this was the discussion before the travel. I laughed on the call, and she said she was delusional. Things escalated quickly after that, and I was accused of trying to replace Jack on Claire's life, and I also said some things that were a little cruel about Jack never meeting Clara. After Linda hung up on me, James called and tried to reason with me. He let it slip that they bought Clara's plane tickets over 2 months ago without asking me first. I said, yeah, right? I said, there's no way I would let them walk all over me. James lost his temper and demanded that I should apologize to Linda or we will go to court over this. I didn't back down and said they were choosing to fight over this, not me. Well, after some time of silence from them, I was served with court papers. They are suing me over custody of Clara and are stating I am unfit as a mother. I already have a lawyer who I consult with before fighting over the phone, and she told me yesterday they have almost zero chance of getting any custody. The most they can get is visitation, but I still worry about this becoming a legal battle. People on my life are divided. Part of them think I did nothing wrong by putting up boundaries, and others think it's petty of me to start a fight with my daughter's grandparents when I could let them travel with her for Christmas, when I know that they are good grandparents and will take care of her.
No, it still don't matter because she's the fucking parent.
Yeah, so, and then...
Wow.
There's it says some clarifications are needed. How Linda and James know details about my life, how they know about Ted's car and Marie's playdates. They do live in another state, but they visit often, at least twice a month to come see Clara, and they come to my house to pick her up and leave her after their outings. This is how Linda realized Ted's car was in the front of my driveway, since I live in a gated community and it's forbidden this type of parking unless it's the homeowner's car. The first time she saw this car, Linda asked if I would call security to tow the car, and I said no because it was Ted's car. They also used to FaceTime Clara 3 times a week. That's how they learned about some of her playdates and sleepovers with Marie. They called when Marie was still at the house and Clara saw her. They expected my toddler to travel alone on a plane.
That's fucking nuts.
That's crazy. No, is what it says after that. I think I couldn't explain well enough. James said they would travel to my city, take Clara with them on the plane to their state, and after a week they would bring her back. She was never supposed to travel alone for what they were planning. I believe that they were going to kidnap my daughter?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's possible. Some comments made me paranoid, to be honest. James said they bought her tickets back, but I don't think I should trust him without proof. Their word means nothing now. Do I still have contact with them? No, my lawyer advised me to cut all visits, video calls with Clara, and only communicate with my daughter's grandparents through our lawyers. They are not blocked on my phone, but I will not receive any call from them. If they text or email me, I'll have it sent to my lawyer. Trust me, today was all about making an FU binder and documenting every little thing. Thank you for a lot of the advice, and don't worry much. Clara and I live in a very secure community with cameras and armed security. No one will take her from me.
Wow. Like, they were getting a lot of visits and a lot of time, like 3-4 times a week of phone calls.
Yeah,
2
right?
times a month of physically coming there and staying, taking her out during the day, and they're out of and live in different states. Like, that's a lot of visits for a 2-year-old. You're gonna try to take a 2-year-old on a fucking plane.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, I guess, after a certain point, like, there would be 2 years old, you're not remembering anything. So, I mean,
that's very psychotic of trying to keep their son alive in a weird way, kind of feeling.
And on top of that,
jealous of the boyfriend.
Yeah, what is she supposed to do? Be single for the next 18 years because she wasn't even dating the kid. Like, they weren't even dating. They were you know,
casual.
Yeah, they were just screwing around and accidentally got pregnant.
They're crazy. They have some crazy grandparents.
And I think it's crazy that kids can go on airplanes by themselves anyways. That's just insane.
Right. I had to do it with a chaperone when I was 13. That was the scariest fucking thing. Excuse me. That shit's scary.
Yeah, I would have been terrified. Brett had to do that. Brett and Bailey both had to do that when they were like 11. No, actually, I was friends. I had a friend who her dad lived in Florida, and every summer she would go down to Florida, and she would fly down there by herself we were in 6th grade, and like that was like she had been doing it already for years, and was like,
it was
no,
weird
I'm fine.
seeing kids that were super young. It was the usual, and as a teenager, like this is scary.
Yeah, man, I think it's scary now. We got to fly in May, and it sounds scary.
Right. Dad's trying to convince us to get in on Mom's birthday. They want to do a Vegas thing. I'm like, I don't know if I can do a plane. I don't know if I can do it. Barely he was able to do the train to get to the Cubs game.
A train seems like it would be fun. It depends on what airports you go to, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the airports here that have like 1 terminal, 2 terminals, because it's so
there's
tiny
no other
here.
choice.
Yeah, right.
You don't need any more.
It was insane. So when we went to the Bahamas for our honeymoon, we flew out of Green Bay, and Green Bay is like 3 terminals, and then we landed in Atlanta, and Atlanta is like I don't know. The pilot said it was the busiest airport he's ever been to, and when we on our way back, I remember I saw like 7 planes take off, like while I was in the plane and we were about to leave, like we were loading in, and I saw 7 planes take off at once, and I was like, this is fucking crazy. I don't even think our airports have 7 planes. Like,
right. Definitely not. Yeah, all 7 of their planes combined is the size of the one normal size plane. You're right on. Coming into Fort Lauderdale airport. Oh my goodness.
Well, and yeah, so in Green Bay, it was like, okay, we got to walk like 5 feet, basically. And then we got to Atlanta, and I'm glad that we had like an escort honestly, Brett being handicapped kind of saved us, because I don't think that he would have made it to the drone.
Right. I called ahead for a little go-go scooter because it was like a mile walk to get from one side of the airport to the other.
We went through
all the terminals.
Like 3 elevators. We rode a subway and maybe 2 subways to get to where we were going. And it was like, even the person that was helping us was like, 1 second. And they had like a little map on their phone, because they were like, I don't know where I am either. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know where we are? And they were like, it's fine.
This place is so huge, I work here and I get lost.
That's how I feel about my current job. I was there for 2 weeks and I got lost, and I was like on the phone with my coworker, like taking pictures. I'm like, where I am? I'm like, this is what I see.
This is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like now.
Where am I? It's a good guessing game. Where am I?
It was awful. Okay, wait. Oh, I thought I clicked on this one. Maybe I didn't. Oh, this one's short. Am I the asshole for kicking my brother and his wife out of my house after they demanded I change my baby's name?
Why with the kids' names thing?
I know. Why is it any of your business? Not your baby? God. So, all right. My husband, 34 male, and I, 32 female, just had our first baby, a beautiful little girl. We named her Lena after my late mother, who passed away a few years ago. The name has deep meaning for us, and it felt perfect.
Aww.
My older brother, 37 male, and his wife, 35 female, came over to meet the baby for the first time. As soon as they heard her name, my sister-in-law's face dropped. She said Lena was the name they had always planned to use for their future daughter. They don't have kids yet, and accused us of stealing the name.
Oh my God. It stole the baby's name from us.
It's always what it is, hey? At first, I thought she was joking, but she kept going, saying we were selfish and ruined the name for her. My brother backed her up and suggested we consider changing it, since they called dibs years ago.
What the fuck called dibs? Yeah.
I lost it, and I told them they were being ridiculous and disrespectful, especially since the name honors my mom. When they wouldn't drop it, I asked them to leave, and now they're telling our family that I'm heartless and I stole their dream name while overreacting and kicking them out. Am I the asshole? No.
Wow, no. They're fucking crazy.
What do you mean you stole the name?
Stole that.
Is your name on
we
it?
call dibs.
Do you put your name on
Shotgun.
it? Dibs is like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
That's like I call dibs on that chair while you're sitting at lunch in high school. What do
You know how many mics there are? Like, come on. There can be 2 leaders. What is happening?
I just can't believe that you named your kid Brooklyn. Don't use it. I can't believe it. Like, what?
We seriously want you to consider changing your baby's name.
Are you going to be mad at everyone named Mary?
How dare you? Dare you have that same name?
I cannot believe this.
My great-great-grandmother called dibs on that 500 years ago. What the fuck?
Like, did you write it down somewhere? Like, what do you mean you took?
Yeah.
Who did you tell?
It's on a gentleman's handshake.
No, if you were like, if you were running around and you were like, we're going to name our daughter Lena, like years ago, and then she did it and named her kid Lena. I mean,
it would sting a little, but I'd still understand that was your mom's dead name, like your mom's name.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's more of a like, who's first? Like, you know, maybe you should have had a baby. I don't know. And I guess I'm sorry if you're having fertility issues, but I don't know.
Sorry about your luck.
You
shit out a baby girl first.
Yeah, you had to have a baby first. That's the rules. That's how it works. You have to have, if you want the name, you got to have a baby, and then it can be your name. But you can't.
I mean, heck, that's kind of like how it works with boys' names. Instead of, who's the first one? His name's Norman. Norman the 5th. God, quit shitting them kids out. Ay.
Yeah, you know, in families like that too, where they do like reuse names and names and names. So like, if there's 5 kids and all 5 of them have a boy, and like everyone's name is Nathan, do they all name their kid Nathan? And then there's just like 8 Nathans or whatever, or I guess there'd be 5 if they all had one Nathan. But, well, no, there would be more than that because there would be Dad Nathan
cousins and
Uncle Nathan probably Nathan. And Grandpa Nathan and
4 cousin Nathans.
So like, when does it? How do you? When do you decide that you're not allowed to have that many?
Yeah, because I got the best of both worlds. It was like 2 of the names on each side, and they just smashed it together. There you go.
Well, it works.
And because we had too many on one side of the family where it was their first name. So I was like, hey, we'll just switch it up and that'll be your middle name instead.
Well, and I know, you know what doesn't make sense to me is with females, there's no junior senior. Did you know that? It doesn't work like that. And I know that because my Aunt Mary said that when my grandma was living with her, it was really, really difficult to deal with male because they have the same name.
Right, same exact name. Yeah. That's how we had a problem with like Grace's and Elizabeth's.
You know, I just realized now that I think about it, my dad was named after my grandpa, and then so the firstborn was named after the grandpa, and the lastborn was named after the grandma. I just not realized. Yeah, there's only junior senior for males. I think that's rude.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean I can't be junior senior?
No wonder we have too many Elizabeths on one side of the family.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, when does it end? When does it, like, for real though?
That's when you start getting 2 middle names. Yeah.
You can't, no, you have to have the baby in order to claim the name. That's just how it works. You don't get to call dibs on names.
No dibs on Lena.
You can say, I call dibs on this name, but then if somebody else has their baby and they use that fucking name, I'm sorry, you should have had a baby. You can't just you can't gatekeep a name.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? All right, if we can gatekeep names, no one else is allowed to be named Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No one else. I mean, I could say no one else is allowed to have my spelling because there probably isn't anybody who has my spelling. But, you know, what the fuck? What is I don't get it.
Wow.
So I think we'll do one more.
Yeah.
And then we'll call it.
Yeah, we're on good time.
So this one is from True Off My Chest.
Ooh,
So this is like confession.
nice,
So.
nice. True off my chest.
My young neighbor's 4-year-old daughter is my husband's affair child.
Oh shit!
Yeah, right. The neighbor.
Woof.
Ugh.
Oh, we're getting it off your chest. Damn.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
Whoa. All right, I'm ready.
My husband has a 4-year-old daughter with a girl who is 16 years younger and was also our neighbor.
Oh shit.
This woman lived with her grandma and they barely made it. Her grandma was taking care of an old lady who died and she passed the 3 rooms luxurious flat to her, but they could barely afford to pay the bills. I knew the granddaughter had a crush on my husband, but I talked to him about my concerns and he said it's nothing, that he ignores it. If she crosses the line, he will tell her. We do well financially speaking. My husband buys a lot of old buildings that are deteriorated and then sells them after fixing them. The young woman who was 24 at the time said historical buildings are her passion and he took her plenty of times with him to visit the buildings. She fell pregnant. We never asked who the father was, but we both agreed to help her with money. They eventually moved and sold the flat. They moved 3 years ago. I get a phone call last week from the grandma who was crying when she heard my voice and told me the little girl is actually my husband's daughter. They moved somewhere else because my husband is actually acting like a father on his rare visits, and when the girl started to talk, they got afraid she will call him daddy. The old woman told me her granddaughter is feeling extremely guilty because I helped her the most, but couldn't call me because she is afraid of me. I went to her workplace and she saw me and she ran into the back. She works at a restaurant. All the money I was giving her for a year, she accepted it, even though my husband was also giving her money without my knowledge, 1,500 euros per month. Just for the child. I confronted my husband about it yesterday after he returned from his daily jogging, and he didn't deny it. He said they had an affair and the child is his. He did the paternity test and he apologized. I feel so lost, hurt, betrayed. I always compared myself to that young woman, and she was and is extremely beautiful. And my husband is also lean and tall, and I gained weight. I feel like I want to dig a hole and jump in. I feel like a clown.
Oh, my heart for her. What the fuck? Oh.
I just
Ripped my chest out.
Well, and she like
was so kind helping that kid out too. Oh my God. Like,
yeah, like you don't even realize that you're paying for your husband's kid that whole time.
While he was secretly doing it. Wow.
That makes my heart hurt.
For real, like, oh my God.
Like I have chest pains. That one's brutal. And it doesn't say like if she thought that there was suspicions. She said that she had concerns.
Right. And he would if oh my wow.
But I mean, so the concerns were probably alleviated because you trusted
there were
your
voice
husband.
And there was trust and wow.
I just
how to be so cold of
I have an impulse to just hit myself in the face with this. I'm like how do you lie like that? How do you lie?
And just be like, oh, you know, yeah, I'm sorry. I have a kid.
You know, like, I don't get it. I don't get the lying because, like, for me, when I think about lying to my husband, it's like, I don't know, like, no, I'm not, it's not bleeding that bad. That's the kind
I'm dying.
Like, no, it's really not bleeding that bad. No, it's really not that bad. And then, like, you know, take care of whatever it is, and then be like, actually, it was pretty bad. So, like, I'll do, like, a little white lie, but then I'll be like, I just didn't want you to freak out a little bit.
You to pass out.
You know, I mean, I
That's
feel like
at least being considerate.
Yeah, because I mean,
considerate of his feelings.
Yeah, well, especially because if it is a situation where something's bleeding bad, and I'm like, yeah, it's actually bleeding really terribly.
Right, would have hyperventilated and passed out anyway. They're like, cool. Now we got that to deal with.
Yeah,
you're just gentling up the situation. Oh my!
I just fuck.
Right. Just a lot of selfless people.
Are you gonna stay
selfish
with him?
Fucking wolf.
Would you be able to stay with him? Like, after that. Like, I mean, because, like, what is he going to say? Sorry?
And then he apologized. Everything's
Sorry.
fine.
Oh, yeah, I did screw the neighbor and knocked her up. Whoopsie.
Sorry.
And it's been years. Like, what? It's kind of like the story with the. You find out 9 years later that your husband's got another kid.
Yeah, your fur baby shows up and needs a fucking coat. Whoa, people.
I just
have a fucking heart.
I know it's.
Whoa, sorry, that one. I didn't mean to whisper that one. That one came out. I didn't mean to.
No,
we'll cut that one out.
It was so, man.
What the fuck?
That one literally made my heart hurt. I just
no. Cold motherfuckers out there.
Leave your husband, I think. Especially
push him in that hole. I know you wanted to climb in the hole, but just put him in there. It's fine. Whoa.
I'm trying to change temperature in here, you see it?
Yeah. She's like, oh, you're chilly. All these cold fucking emotionless ass fucking hole people.
You know, we were talking today. Brett and I were talking about how we were like, we're really proud of this purchase about this space heater. It's amazing, honestly. It saved us a lot of money, but
I guess the one you normally have in the breezeway over there.
Yeah, keeps that area nice, and now it's cold in there, but whatever.
Hey,
but we also honestly the reason we got it is because of the power. It was like a year ago we had a power outage in the middle of winter, and it was really, really cold, and we didn't have power for like 3 days or something like that.
A gnarly ass ice storm.
Yeah, so we were huddled all in the living room. We had like all the doors shut in the house, and we were huddled in the living room and had the space heater with the generator running. That's
because we know how to survive in the cold. You get a fucking coat.
We at least had coats.
God.
Stupid. You know what though? You know, it sounds crazy, but we also use tea lights.
Heck yeah. You can get a lot of heat in a room off of a couple candles.
If you light like 47 of them, it really helps.
And in that thing where you do like put a clay pot over it type of thing, that actually works really good too.
Have you used that?
Yeah, it holds in the heat. Really illuminates the heat.
I could too, because I totally have some of those.
Mm-hmm.
I made that my pot room over there. Got like a whole bookshelf of pots.
Yes.
So they're not upstairs. Still got a bucket of dirt upstairs, but Wade's going strong too. He's big. Well, I mean, I guess he hasn't grown too much, but
it looks floofier. Sure.
Yeah, his web is getting pretty serious, and I don't know what it is, but there are still so many bugs in that terrarium. So,
yeah, you brought me home a new plant for Christmas, and Walmart, they always mites or fungus mites or whatever, the fungus flies.
Oh God. I started wondering they are. You know, I can give you some of the traps that I have.
Oh, those sticky things, those work great.
It comes with like 60 of them, and I've literally only used like 8. So if you want to take I can give you like a little, they're like rubber banded together. I'll give you a little stack.
Oh yeah.
They're fucking nice.
A
week ago I had one stuck to this.
You get a little too close.
I was like, what is going on? And Brett's like, well, you're gonna have to wash that. And I was like, motherfucker. But yeah, they worked really well.
Heck
actually. We had them I think I had like 4 or 5 of them out, and we got rid of all the dumb little gnats, minus what's growing in the damn terrarium.
Heck yeah. Last time I had to deal with it, I used a fly strip ribbon, but made it into like a cone, stuck it into the dirt, so that way they climbed up it. Couple days, I think, covered.
I've heard of yellow solo cups, and put like Vaseline on it. Apparently it works for like outdoor gardens very well, and it'll collect aphids and shit.
Get stuck to it. Attracted to the color.
They're attracted to color, and they'll get stuck to it. I'm always thinking of ways that you can help that doesn't include hurting bees, because I'm so worried about hurting the bees.
Don't need to pollinate the shit.
Yeah. I still really want to get into beekeeping.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of books about it, I'm telling you. You know, I listened to 45 books last year. Between like
Nice.
July and the end of the year, I listened to 45 books.
Kind of impressive.
We were talking about it on New Year's Eve the other day, and I was like, I don't even know. I have no idea how many, but I know I've listened to a lot. And I listened to, I don't know, like 300 episodes of podcasts. So I'm actually a professional on Audible. So run and tell that, homeboy. Anyways, thanks for coming to Ask the Conch. That was a pretty fun episode. Lots of mother-in-law issues.
Yeah.
Man.
A lot of not assholes with their in-laws.
Man, what a nice stand.
Dig it.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Nice view.
Bye.
Oh, that's right. It's a clicky thing. Did it work? No, we're still going.